All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this electron dot structure. So if you look at this, it should kind of look familiar, right? Hydrogen, helium. Here you have lithium, sodium. On this last column, you have helium, neon, argon. So this should look familiar because this is basically the periodic table, right? So we have the periodic table here, and then we have this version that we've been using. And what you can see is that this is a periodic table, right? That we're seeing right here. It's just what this is showing you are the different shells and all of the electrons on those shells, right? So again, remember everything that you have here in this first column, let me bring this up a little bit more. So everything here that you have in group one, right, this first column, everything, the reason why there's this one right on top, and hopefully that kind of goes away for a second. And you can see the one at the top of the group is showing you that everything in this column right here, so I'll bring out this pen. So everything in this column right here, from hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, all of these have one electron on their outer shell, right? And so what you're seeing right here is that these also, that it's the same thing, right? It's showing you it has one on its outer shell, it has a one electron here on its outer shell, and it has one electron here on its outer shell, right? And if you would look on the periodic table, you would see that there would be a 2 right here, and that's showing you that you have 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. And so boron, you remember that in this class and a lot of basic chemistry classes, you skip all of these right here. You don't really focus much. Let me go back to this one, a little less complicated. We don't focus on these right here. All of these elements, these would be for a more advanced class, right? But we do pick up here with boron, and what you see here, remember, this is what you need to focus on is this 3, and this 3 is showing you that there are 3 electrons on the outer shell. This 4 is telling you there's 4 electrons on the outer shell, 5 electrons, and so on, right? So when you're here, again, boron is, you have that, this is 13, right? You just focus on the 3 right here, and it's again showing you have 1, 2, 3. And then so on. And remember, this last one here is 18, and you're focusing on that 8, except for helium. Remember, helium only has a 1 shell, but it has a maximum of 2 in that first shell. So it's content, right? It doesn't need a bond. But here you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. And if you kept going down, they would have 8 on their outer shell, right? But that's what the dots are showing you right there. And so here, let me get rid of this stuff. Same thing. This is the exact same thing, but instead of showing you all of the shells, it's only showing you the very outer shell, the valence shell, right? Remember we talked about the valence shells being the outermost shell and the electrons on the outer shell being the valence electrons. So here it's just showing you 1 electron on the valence shell. And actually, let me highlight that, not darken it. Right, and then this one here, it's showing you the 2 because beryllium has 2 on its outer shell, right? So you come here and you see beryllium right here, right? And that 2, again, means that there are 2 on the outer shell. Same thing with magnesium. There are 2 on the outer shell. You come here to magnesium, you have 1, 2. Right, so these are what these electron dot structures are telling you, is that there are only 2 electrons on the outer shell. So 2, then 1, 2. Here you have this 3. You have 1, 2, 3. Also here 1, 2, 3. Here you have the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you have the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, right? And then this last column here on the periodic table, remember, these are completely full. So 1 shell, but it's full because it has 2. These other ones have 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. So the octet rule says that these are all content, right? They don't want to bond with anything else. So these electron dot structures are just showing you the electrons on the valence shell or the valence electrons, which are just the ones on the outermost shell of an atom.